Hello, I'm James Tonner, Director of Start Performing Community Organisation. Welcome to this virtual question and answer session for the cast and crew of the 2015 film Salone Will Never Walk Alone. Written and directed by Jonathan Kojo Mama and Jane Aston Bandea, the film was created to raise awareness of Ebola and the measures needed to prevent the spread of the virus disease. Asking the questions today will be the sociology students of the University Pablo de Olavide in Seville. Thank you. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Antonieta, and I am another teacher from sociology matter. And I would like to say the people from Tito Paradise and Sierra Leone, thanks very much for sharing with us that experience or that practice that I hope that enjoy and help us to grow up in that globalization world and do another things in another way.
Hi everyone, I'm Elvira Rubio, and together with Antonieta, I teach the sociology matter at the Pablo de Olavide University. I'm really excited with this activity because I think it will be very, very interesting for the students. Thank you so much for your collaboration and a warm greeting from Seville to the people of Tito Paradise. Bye.
Hi. My name is Jonathan Kojo Mama. I'm one of the writers of this short film called Salone Will Never Walk Alone. I am a civil engineer working for A1 Construction Company in Sierra Leone. I'm here to answer your questions as I took the role of the headman in the film.
Hello, I'm Jane Austen Bandoa. I'm one of the co-authors of the film Salone Will Never Walk Alone.
Hello, I am Tito from Tito's Paradise Eco Beach. I am an actor from the film Salone Will Never Walk Alone. I played the role of Tito, the main fisherman.
I'm Alpha Suleiman Ba. I'm an actor in the movie Salone Will Never Walk Alone. I take part as a youth in the movie and I'm an alpha in the movie.
So me na Kalimba. I will be act that film. We na Salone walking alone.
Do the people have sufficient resources to support themselves?
This community is located along the western peninsula of Freetown, the capital city of Sierra Leone. It was discovered during the slave trade and one of the transit points to exit slaves out of Sierra Leone. There are other neighboring communities along the western peninsula named after their earlier settlers. People living within these communities migrate from towns like Bonth Island, Bulom, and some were free slaves. Most of them were fishermen, small-scale vegetable farmers, and traders. Most of these communities are still called villages. There is nothing like pipe-borne water. They mainly depend on waters running from the hills during the rain and from unprotected hand-dug water well during the dry season. They do not have anything like dairy, berries, meat, school, health assistants, store to support themselves. Besides the fishing and the vegetable, which they do for themselves, every other things they need is coming from another bigger community.
Oh, good afternoon, people from Seville. The question you asked me, I don't know if you're talking about the whole country or you're talking about my village. But the whole country, I don't know. I don't know about the whole country. I'm talking about my village. My village, no, we don't have no kind of resources. Yes, in our village, nothing like that. Unless you build your own.
How do you carry out the chief of the village?
All these communities along the peninsula, designated or answerable to the Freetown municipality, and the mayor is the head of the local council. The chairperson who looks over the affairs of these communities is called the Western Area Rural Chairman or Chairperson, and he or she conducts elections in those communities through the permission of the mayor to elect a headman. The chairman or chairperson is being elected during the local council election all over the country every 5 years. Any interested person must express his or her interest to the community and must be approved and nominated by some people in the community. The Western Area Rural Chairman will make a submission to the mayor and if approved will conduct an election. The people have the right to nominate as many as they wish and vote for their candidates respectively, and the victor will be announced as the headman of that community for a period of 5 years. A bell will be given to the newly headman as a sign of authority over his people for 5 years or till another person elected.
What do you think of traditional African medicine and their practices compared to Western medicine practices?
African traditional medicine can be effective in most cases, but it is very, very dangerous because it has no description, instruction, or expiring dates. In some areas, these traditional medicine people pretend to have extra powers from some evil spirits or demons, or from dead people, marine spirits, by incarnation or in invocation, and talk lots and lots of words. There are other sets who are very open. They deal with just different kinds of leaves to cure many types of sickness, including fractures. This practice is everywhere around Sierra Leone, even within the city. And lots of people, including the educated ones who have been exposed in the West, believe and they can cook, drink, tied in any painful areas of the body, as the case may be. This is far different from the Western medicine. In the West, you will have to go through a diagnostic test before preferred treatment or carried out X-ray in the case of fracture and give confirmed and accurate results.
The compare with Europe medicine and African medicine is very different, big difference. Like we is natural herbs we use in our body. Like European, I don't know what they do, but sometimes they use chemical in their own medicine. But we use natural thing. Like sometimes when person come up of coconut tree, fell down on the ground, and sometimes it broke his legs and broke his body. What some people do, like we shabu, what we do, We take the man right down the beach side or any ground, dig a hole, and beg the man then he just leave the neck outside and put some fire and give the man time under the ground for some time. Then the man will feel the heat inside, and then when the man started to shout, I feel my body, I feel my body here, then you take the man out. Then you will see the man natural, strong again. Yes, then we use some of our apps just to do the body. Yeah. And then malaria, we have medicine for malaria. Everything. If it's stomach, lot of things, yes. Natural herbs like this kind of stuff, leaves. This one, we eat this one, this flower. We eat this with fufu, we call it fufu. Even James know what is fufu. We eat fufu with this. This is the leaves we eat with fufu, we cook it. Yeah. That we do with. I know this one is better in Africa more than the European thing.
The question is, are there any NGOs or local entities of a social nature? If so, are they religious, from business, or from rich people?
Nothing of short is in this community. Everyone lives independently with his or her family and relatives, and they are unconscious to their future and what they should do to improve their community. Their primary and secondary concentration is for how to get money to feed and to attend to other interested activities according to their tradition and beliefs. NGOs have met neighboring communities with schools, waterways, and some other programs. This is because they have some people in the city who are in better position that can influence, convince, and attract NGOs or other organizations. This film was the first exposure to that village, that community or village. And we are very much impressive, moved, excited, and they anxiously wait it to be more.
Well, for here, no, we don't have no NGO here. Unless the provinces, here we have the NGOs. There they do their own things. But in Black Johnson, the Peninsula, no NGO.
Requirements must be met. What are the reasons for a population as a whole deciding to appoint, respect, and abiding by the rules of a village headman?
To become a headman, one needs to be recognized that every member of the community needs to be a respected person, outspoken, generous, respecter of people, open up and ready to defend them at all levels.
For our own country, we don't ask for educational background unless you will take care of the youth to bring developments in the community. And they will need a peaceful man, not a brutality man, to be a headman. And to be a headman, you should know how to take care of the people, what they need and whatever they like for you to do.
We can see that there is a hierarchy in which Mama Kumba is part of the top. After her death, is there a reorganization in the community? If the answer is yes, in what way?
Mama Kumba, like any other traditional medicine person, most time is just an ordinary person in the community. People just respect and trust them for their medicine, and in many cases, the whole village rely and depends on them medically. In some areas, the council issues a certificate of recognition that allows or authorizes them to perform their duties. Others are members of a traditional medicine association established by the government of Sierra Leone through the local council. When a member in this organization dies, The entire membership will traditionally organize a kind of funeral for that person in their traditional, cultural, and beliefs.
After the death of Mami Kumba, there is no other organization taking place.
In the interior of Sierra Leone, who are the most resourceful individuals or groups in terms of money, lands, animals, houses, cars, and vans?
Our the most resourceful area in the country is a Western Area Rural District, Peninsula Highway, where there are a lot of lands and lots of animals in the area. But some of these things are owned by privates, some of them are owned by groups, some of them are individuals.
How has it been for you to play a role as complicated as the one in the film and get fully into the shoes of people who have suffered an epidemic like Ebola?
This film was not just a film, but was to transform the belief and educate people, especially living in short communities. At first, there was a political scandal all over Sierra Leone that Ebola was not real. The then government was accused by the main opposition party to be pretending in order to get money from international donors. Then, as it takes another level, came another scandal that if someone feels sick and go to the hospital, they will administer a poisonous treatment and kill the person. And the government claimed it was Ebola. Or if feel sick and call 117, they will come with an ambulance to take you, but they will kill you on the way. This and many things were said that stop many people not to go to hospital when they are sick. Instead, we'll find a native medicine person to take native treatment, and in the process, they spread the sickness and loses their lives. This turned to many violations, even with most educated people. There was denial all over the country, and many people fight against measures put in place by the government. Actually, these were some of the reasons many got affected and died. In the film, you can see it started with denial around places. People in quarantine home violated rules, even the headman. But later, after the death of Mama, the whole situation turned over and people finally believed and accepted Ebola was real. So many people that suffered was out of ignorance, misinformation, and deliberately misled. The film is a motivation to many and as confidence lesson for any outbreak like the present coronavirus.
What kind of activities and duties has Chief on the community?
Well, for my own procedure in the Edman election, like me, I'm a peaceful man. I don't go out and corrupt and do anything with the youth or this or that. No, nothing like that. But when the day of the voting, when we go and vote, sometimes I talk to some of the youth who want to cause some problem. Yes, I say, take it cool, just go and vote for the person you know that he's going to rule well. That is the only thing. Don't make any confusion, no problem. Then you go back home, no problem. That is my own job I do all the time in the election of the headman, because I'm not going to fight. I'm not a fight man, because I have my dread man don't fight. It's okay.
The headman's main duty is to protect, advise, settle matters among his people, and the main actor between his people and the council. Most time he calls his people to meeting to pass on messages from council or other important issues.
What influence does Salone's culture of beliefs on group decisions?
Every part of Sierra Leone, apart from Freetown, has their culture and beliefs. From the chief or headman down to the least person lives within the confinement of their culture and tradition, and no one goes beyond it. It's part of their system from childhood.
Which of the characters we see in the short film has a greater capacity to raise awareness in the village so that Ebola is taken seriously?
The awareness is raised by the youth because of the people in the village are not taking the thing seriously because of lots of people are dying. Even the traditional mercy woman, they not take it serious because of they give them advice, no one take it serious. And because of the dangerous things happen, people are dying every day. So we take a challenge, we go to the chief, inform him about this is serious. Everyone is dying in the village. What should we do? And the chief also take it serious. He say, oh, this is serious. And everyone is dying. Even the traditional woman is now dying. Now this is serious. Let's raise this awareness so that everybody will understand that Ebola is real. That's what question 11 answers.
After just receiving help during the Ebola outbreak and seeing the consequence, have you received help from any NGO or European institution or from anywhere in the world? And what type?
We don't receive any help from any NGO in Sierra Leone.
It's no, a big no. Since the little helps that came in within Ebola period, nothing has ever come in to date, even when we have corona in the country.
The relationship between international donors, NGOs, and the people of Sierra Leone is a very interesting one and goes to the heart of the problem that happened when Ebola first came to Sierra Leone, and the government were trying to alert people to the dangers and raise awareness about what needed to be done. NGOs and various international institutions had first become involved in Sierra Leone during the horrendous rebel war that lasted from 1991 until it was effectively ended in 2002. The country was left devastated. It was always in the bottom three of the socio-economic table for many, many years. To give this some context, in 2005, 1 in 4 children died before they reached the age of 5. The average age expectancy for men and women was 45 years. By 2015, things had certainly improved, and a lot of the donors had moved away to go to other places with more need. And that is what made the people think that Ebola was just a joke, to try and get the donors and the international organisations interested in Sierra Leone again. They did not trust the government. They did not follow the rules. And that's one of the main reasons we wrote the film. We realised that the song fitted the message of hope, that we had to keep following the rules. I knew that people would follow Tito and Kojo, who are significant people in the community, and do what they said. So that was the whole reason for the film coming about. I hope you enjoyed it.
How does a family group obtain money or things necessary to live after the loss of the breadwinner of the family?
In many times, family members around or elsewhere share the dependence among themselves, or if the departure was a wealthy person, the elders will put modalities in place for the running and bringing up of the dependents.
When he lost the breadwinner in the family, for our village here, it's not easy because our village sometimes they depend on one person because the breadwinner have money. Yes, they depend on that one person, one side. But when they lost that family, there's some of them they become poor. They go into the bush, working stone, cutting wood, making fire coal, do any kind of different things. So they're going crazy. That's what is happened in our village.
Why was it not accepted among the community group that people who fell ill and died in the village had Ebola?
Why? Because we are not doctors. The doctors told us that everyone and died. In that time, it's Ebola time. Everyone sick and died. It's Ebola. We don't know. They check them. They are the doctors said don't touch deadly person. If you touch deadly person, you have Ebola. So we don't know whether it's headache or malaria kill that person. And just because of his Ebola and the doctor said don't touch ill people, and this time it's Ebola. When you touch ill people, you have Ebola. So we don't know. The doctors they know. And when they check after the person died, they come back and when they check, they don't give us the year results whether it's positive or negative. We just take it that it's Ebola, and because of that time it is Ebola. So that's why we take it is Ebola.
The amount of illiteracy in the country, denials, misinformation, and bad politics, many died before they could realize it was real.
What measures were taken in the village when the arrival of Ebola was accepted?
And our village here, when we have the Ebola, the time for the Ebola time, the measures we take, we're stopping people not to come in the village, and we're making some checkpoints to check people with thermometer, check your temperature, how your temperature, we check everything. Then we stop people not to come to each and other, everything like that. Then we check people not going and coming back. When you go to another village, then don't come back in our own village. Yeah, that's what we do. We have a lot of things we do, but I can't explain everything anyway.
Has Ebola served a purpose in terms of learning things for prevent the current COVID pandemic?
The experience and lesson learned during the Ebola makes COVID-19 did not spread easily as Ebola. It was just too easy for the Ministry of Information and the Ministry of Health to sensitize the nation about the outbreak. Since when the president made an announcement over radio that the country has recorded its first case, there were hand sanitizer, face masks all around, and people started distancing before the government could issue out any message.
We learned a lot from Ebola because we have Ebola survival who survived from Ebola. So they learned we a lot how we're going to take a place about COVID-19, how we're going to do our things. Stay away from people, don't mingle with another person. That we do Ebola time, and then the same thing we do for COVID-19.
Did the population of Salone have the necessary information and resources to prevent contagion?
Sierra Leone as a country did not have the necessary information and resources to prevent contagion. The government only relied on radio to send out messages. Radio waves are not all over the country, so many people did not listen to radio. Some cannot afford to buy one. However, due to the awareness learned from Ebola, people find ways on their own to relay messages to their relatives around.
How did the village next door carry out the quarantine, and what did it consist of?
They quarantine the next door because of they have suspected cases there. That's why they quarantine people, for them to be observed either there is Ebola person there or not Ebola. So that consists of the quarantine.
And did people follow the preventive measurements?
Yes, the people follow that.
Once the alarm was sounded over the first death from Ebola, why did people refuse to call emergency service?
No one believed that Ebola is real. So that's why people don't respond.
Do you think that if the virus had not reached European people, this epidemic would have had as much media coverage as it did in its day?
Indeed, I think Europe did not have much to report about from Africa with COVID-19. Much is not going on compared to Europe.
Yeah, I think so. If it is in Europe, we should have a lot of coverage, but we don't know.
What is the level of difficulty in selecting volunteers from residents?
Not at all. These were paid jobs. People were desperate for paid jobs. Anytime anything was advertised, there were queues around blocks of people waiting to apply to become a member of the Ebola volunteer group. That was the burying teams, it was the information teams, everything. There was never a shortage of people willing to volunteer.
It is not difficult to have volunteer.
The question is, what was the main reason or reasons for making the film?
The principal reason for making the video was to allow people a voice, a way to communicate in their own way, in their own language, about a problem that was happening in their own country.
My question is, are you scared about the consequences of coronavirus in Africa? And also, do you think that the experience with Ebola could be useful to stop the coronavirus spread?
Yeah, when we had the news for corona, we were scared. But through Ebola, we learned a lot of experience to stop this corona not to spread from us in this country and the community as a whole. Yeah, we learned and we have a lot of experience. We did it and we are still doing it for corona not to spread.
So, I'd like to say a big thank you to the sociology students from the University Pablo de Olavide in Seville for their questions, and to the cast and crew of the film Salone Will Never Walk Alone, who are based in Tito's Paradise, and that's in Black Johnson in Sierra Leone. And a special thank you to the professors teaching the sociology course, Antioneta and Elvira. Thank you all very much. Goodbye.
Hold your head up high with hope in your heart, and you will never walk alone.
When you walk through the storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark at the end of the storm. There is a golden sky and the sweet silver song of the land.
This is a voice from Sierra Leone, a nation that is crying and dying from a disease known as Ebola. Ebola came and tossed and blown all our dreams away. But as a nation, we stand together, go through the rain and the rain together. Because we know at the end of the storm, there is a golden sky. Sierra Leone will go through Ebola. Sierra Leone will never walk alone. Alone.